I want to make tonight a simple tutorial about how to set out your layout page in a Link Ecu. Okay, I made a temporary one. So if I click here on layout, come down to load, you can see I've got one here for learning. I've got some dial gauges. I've got a digital gauge, several other digital gauges, and this bar gauge, right? Some things right from a basic level. If I come across here to some black space, right here by this arrow, I right click, that's where I get a new page from. I can call this page test 9. Then it's blank. If I want to make a digital gauge, I would right click, go to new digital gauge. Here I could type engine speed. Like that. Click OK. Of course, we know the basics that we could drag it, we could move it, and we could lock it. Like that. Or we could unlock it and we can delete it. Right. Some more things. You can right click. You could go to a dial gauge. This might be useful for lambda. Like that. Grab it here. Square it up a bit. Move it to where I want it. You're getting the feel, right? Then the question is, well, what are we going to set out? What's going to be useful to us as we drive the car, for instance, or as we tune the car? Here's some ideas. You could make a tab called running. You could have how hot it is, how hot the air is, what's your oil pressure, what's your fuel pressure, what's your target, what's your lambda, and you could put this laptop on the passenger seat of the car and drive down the road, or have your wife drive it, and you could be looking at all these vitals as you're driving down the road. How about this? These are called tables. I'm going to delete this on purpose. If I right click and I made a tab called fuel table, if I push the F key on the keyboard, it's a shortcut, F for fuel. I can drag it out big, like that. So I don't have to scroll on it. I could lock it, like that. I could, on my keyboard, push the H key, and it would put a gradient of color in it, where it's rich, where it's lean, that sort of thing, right? I can push K, and it would change to the other view, to more of a picturesque view. If I come over here, I can change back, or I can toggle with the K key. Here I can make a tab called ignition. I can right click. No, I don't need to right click. I can just push the I key, like that. Spread it out. Again, so I don't have to scroll on it. H to put the gradient in it. K to show in a modeled view. Can swap back here. Right. Here we've got a tab called cold start. I can come over here and push ECU settings, or the escape key on the keyboard would do the same. I can come down here to cold start. I can hold down the shift key and it'll take it off this menu and it'll put it over here, like that. I can come again, hold down shift, get another table, hold down shift, hold down shift. Ooh. Hold down shift like that. And of course I could spread them out around the page. And tonight's video is not really about how to resize boxes, right? But you get the deal. I could put things around the page in such a way that this page would be useful to me when I'm tuning my cold start for the 20th time, I can look at where the table pink box is against the temperature or the time while it's running, and it's it's a good way to tune if you can spread out on your layout what you want to see. Here's a tab called idle valve. I have a 2-wire Nissan style solenoid that you put a frequency in it and it lets air bypass through and goes to my 4 throttles on the side of my Toyota Beams motor, right? When I start it up in the morning, I want it to bypass air and bring my idle up to see here 1100, and as it warms up I want it to stop bypassing air and come down to 850 as an idle. This is called a time plot. You would do it by going right click, new, time plot. You have to add a group. Ideally you would add 2 groups. Get on the first group, see here it says idle position, and on the second group, see that's a group from there down, you would put idle engine speed underneath. So I'm going to click on that, add parameter, we want idle position, right? Idle, put in there, and here I would add a parameter, and I can move it up and down if I want. Engine speed, there. Then I click OK, and I've made a time plot. Really useful if you've just started your motor and you want to know, is it revving up and then coming down? Of course, this time plot's not correct because I didn't hang around. I let it warm up for a few seconds and then I drove off. Right, but you can see how you would use this to tune your idle valve and get the right numbers in the boxes. I've intentionally put this on-screen keyboard for learning on my screen. I call this a square bracket next to the P and another square bracket, right? And these two, if I close this now, and I click here, if I use the square brackets that I just showed you, I can navigate through my open tabs. What we made first, push the square bracket, you can see that we are cycling through. Learn some of the hotkeys, they will help you heaps. They're here and they are right there, keyboard shortcuts. Time plots are powerful little things, you know. Watch this. If I take this and I make it a bit smaller, like that, I'll show you how I made it. I right click, new, time plot. Add some groups like this, and then add some parameters. Okay. For learning, I'll just add the engine coolant temperature. Click OK, and you can see, just like over here, I have quickly made a time plot. So I can go for a drive. You can take a 10-second race. You might even be in an endurance race. You might be driving for an hour or 2 or more. And you can put your engine speed here, the temperature of your coolant here, your battery voltage here, where your throttle was, how much oil pressure you had, how your fuel pressure was, and you can drive and then you can review like this. If I click here and I hold the down arrow and the up arrow, I can spread out the whole drive or I can narrow it in. If I want to look like this, where was my highest RPM? I can click here and I can spread out and I can read it up here. So that's called a time plot. Air fuel ratio. It takes a lot of time to get the air fuel right. I normally do it with the closed loop turned off until I have it like I really want it. So here's a table. I showed you how to make a time plot table, but I want to show you what's in it. I can right click on it and I can come down to properties. You can see here lambda, AFR, target, engine speed, throttle position, and map. Notice that under this group, I put lambda and AFR to overwrite each other. They're on the same group. That means I can be shooting along, seeing what did I wish the air fuel was going to be and targeting it, and what actually was it under the conditions that I was driving. Hence here, I can, well, let's go here. I'm 5,000 RPM. I can zoom in. I can click right here and go, actually, I was at 0.9, but I targeted 0.88 and see how they're overlapping each other. It makes it super cool if you are trying to change this. You can also do this. You can just push the F key, bring up the fuel table, spread it out a bit, get to the area where it was, and you can come along and you can change. See that display box there? That is exactly where the motor and the throttle and the manifold vacuum was during that part of the time plot. So you can just come in here, highlight it, and make a change to your fuel table. This is an interesting page. I have a beams motor, so I have constantly variable intake and exhaust VVT. It's cool, man. So here you can see that my VVT was operating. At the lower part in the purple, you can see that I had 9 degrees negative. And here in the top, when I was really starting to get into wide open, you can see that I've got 37 degrees in the positive on the intake camshaft. So again, it's a time plot, quite useful for understanding is the VVT even working. Notice here, if I go to another tab called VVT settings, by clicking there, I can come down and open up the Christmas tree, and I've got these two tables. If I hold down the shift key, it will put the table here. If I hold down the shift key on the intake, it will put the intake and the exhaust tables both on the same page, right? Again, this is when it becomes quite useful to push the H key like this, like this. It makes it so much easier on the eye because you can see, these are zeros, this is 50, and these are zeros, and 10 and 20 and 40 are in between. Pushing the H on the target down here. That's how I set up my VVT settings page. Last thing I have to say is you can come up here on your keyboard, you can push the function 12 key. You can come up to tuning and click the runtime values. For instance, you start it up in the morning and you can see down here what are trims that are actually affecting the air fuel ratio of the car more than just the fuel table, the main fuel table. And all of a sudden you go, oh, I've got post enrichment turned on. I've got warm enrichment turned on. And for the first 80 degrees until it gets up to operating temperature, you can see that you have fuel adders going on. Now, you can look at your ignition. You can see trims going on. You can look at all sorts of stuff. You can look at your triggers and see if they're live. I don't try and set these all out here. I just know that I can push F12 and get my runtime values at any time. When you're finished setting out the table the way that you like it, and you've learned to navigate around with your square brackets like this, then you come up here to layout and you save the layout. I like to save the layout per laptop. This laptop has a certain amount of dots per inch. Another laptop that I have in the car has a different amount of screen resolution on it. One is Ultra HD and one is HD. So I have a layout for each laptop. Okay, I hope this has really helped you. Again, I targeted this video of learning at those who are just putting their feet in the water. Those who have just got a Link ECU and want to set out just how you want your PC Link to look. I learned a lot of this from other people, but I hope this has been helpful to you. My name is Rex Short. I live in New Zealand, and I've enjoyed helping you guys today. Have a good day.